So certainly a terrific win for our guys. Really proud of how they played tonight, how spirited they were. Played with more confidence, which is certainly not only necessary, but a major positive step for us to feel comfortable, to understand how we're trying to play. And you know, this is a team we need to be able to battle through a little adversity at times. And I talked to our guys about that going into the game. We were going to have some. Haven't had a lot in the last few games. So we've been able to manage games well. But you know, Miami threw in some tough shots. Kids made big plays. Kid like Darius Adams, who's not a tremendous shooter, knocks in 4 threes against you. You've got to find a way to still get a win. And I thought our guys executed offensively great in the second half, and that was good to see because we won a lot of games defensively tonight. I thought we won with our offense. Questions?
Andre shot there with under 43 seconds left, right in front
Hail
of him.
Mary, just him making a play. Great player making a play. Nothing, you know, really. The thing that's funny, and we actually ran a play and walkthrough today against the zone, and Andre came off a ball screen and didn't shoot. And I stopped practice and I said, hey, Andre, like, you realize you're at the point in your career now where we run plays for you. Just shoot. And he kind of looked at me sheepishly, so we ran the play again and he shot it in. Well, then today, late in the game, right before that, we ran a play out of a timeout. And Andre, we ran it for Andre, and like Devin in the huddle was like, yeah, that's going to work. Knock this in. And it was almost like, you know, Andre, we've got a lot of guys that haven't had to do that. They've been waiting around for Trevor Booker, and he's not playing. So, like, somebody else is going to have to do it. And it's Jure, it's DeMontez. But it was a big shot by Andre. And I think that shot going in gave him the confidence to make the next one. You know, I've never said a thing to Andre. Andre's going to, he's got a free reign with me. He's going to take a few wild shots every once in a while because at 5'9" and a three-point shooter, you've got to. But because he does that, he can make shots like that. And in all honesty, sometimes those are the ones that win games.
Coach, this win seemed to have a little, I guess, a little grit to it. That it wasn't easy. Every time you looked like you were going to start to pull away, they just wouldn't let you.
That's credit to Miami. They've got competitive young men in that locker room there. They fight, and they've got talented players that make big plays. And you know, we had to continue to make shots. We had to continue to execute offensively and score. We couldn't get enough stops to get the game put away with our defense, and so it put more pressure on us offensively, and it's good for our team to have to win a game like that. I prefer to win with defense, but this was good for us to win it a different way. And proud of our guys for stepping up. Jure and DeMontez were outstanding all day. You know, we were really in a tough spot. We have all of our perimeter players with 3 fouls, still like 14 or 15 minutes in the game. You know, we've got lineup of Brian and Zaay and Corey out there. They had to stay out there for a while to manage the fouls, and so we had to do a lot of different things on the move and on the fly. And guys just continue to find ways to get it done. So this was good for our team.
How much longer is Zaay going to keep surprising people by going through and tipping in a basket?
I'm sure that's not on his scouting report, but if he does it 1 or 2 more times, it will be. You know, he's just he's a tough kid. He's a tough kid, and he plays with pretty good poise. You know, he's farther along with poise than like Corey, and he should be because he's 4 years older. And even though he hasn't played a lot, he's practiced against these guys. He's sat on the bench in these kind of games. He's watched this environment. So he, you know, I said early on in this, way back, maybe even in the preseason, that you'll see Zaay in ACC games. And I thought people looked at me like I was crazy, but you know, and that was when we still had a full roster of 11. And we're down to 9 now, and he started some, and he's in the second half of the game in the ACC in a tough battle. He's out there playing. So that speaks to, you know, how much he's improved and how much he understands maybe what we're trying to do. So that's really good.
He also tied for the team lead in blocks tonight. That one's got to surprise you.
We don't. I'm not a big block guy. Like I don't like a lot of blocks. Like it's all right because Jure can do that, but every time we got a block, he also fouled a shooter. DeMontez fouled a shooter. So I look at that and like, you get 1 block and you foul a shooter, that means they're going to go to the free throw line. I'm not a big fan of our guards blocking shots. So
Brad,
that would be a negative on the chart.
Do you allow yourself to kind of reflect on the fact that this is your first ACC win?
I haven't thought about it, but certainly I guess it's a significant moment just from the standpoint of like, you know, you think from the standpoint of just getting to this level and dream come true in terms of being able to be a coach at a school like Clemson and to win a game and now kind of put it behind you and realize, hey, you want to stay here, you better win a lot more. So get after it. And these are the kind of games that you're going to be in. But yeah, certainly I'm proud of all the people that have helped me get to this point. My wife, my family, the coaches I've worked for, the players that have played under me and helped me get to this situation. You don't get here as a coach by yourself. You get here because of all your assistants, the players that play for you, family that's understanding, parents that raise you the right way and put you in a position to have an opportunity. So from that point, I'm very grateful and blessed to a lot of people.
Last 5 minutes, your foul shooting, pretty incredible.
Yeah, we don't talk about a lot of those things. Good days, bad days. I remember we had a conversation in here where we had a bad night. You know, that's nothing that we're doing. We're just shooting the same amount, trying to be positive with our guys, and maybe give them one thing to think about, a few of them sometimes, but don't overcoach it. Just trust in their, you know, toughness, and sometimes it's a mentality that you're going to step up there and make them. And you know, we had a couple front ends missed by Zaay, but we bounced back later and made it when we needed to. And we have to do that well if we're going to win games in the league.
Coach Hayden came in here and said basically that Zaay outplayed all of his guys. What did you think about his performance tonight at 18-11?
I thought he was very good. I mean, Zaay was terrific, especially early, establishing the tone for how we were going to play inside and aggressively going to the boards, aggressively finishing plays. You know, he's emerging as a very good player, and I'm really proud of him because of how hard he's worked. And there are times I still have to remind our guys we need him to get more touches. But you know, Zaay's understanding too that you got to be a really good player, you have to put in a little extra. You got to work a little harder. You know, you've got to. They're not just going to be open on your first post up. And there are times when he isn't as good as he needs to be at that. But there are other times when he gets his mind right that he's pretty assertive down there. And when he's assertive down there, he can be a very good player.
A month ago, Florida State, 3 straight losses. This team could have gone the other way. Now things seem to be clicking a little bit more. What has changed in these past few weeks?
Well, some of it is, and I talked about this a little bit, as much as we enjoyed our trip to the Virgin Islands. It wasn't ideal from the standpoint of 7 or 8 days or whatever it was. We played a lot of games, fine, but we hadn't practiced a lot. And you have to learn about your team, and we learned about our team through some of the practices, but then we got to go make ourselves better. We have to learn what we need to improve upon and practice it and see it work in games. And some of the things in the last 6 games that have helped us is we've put a renewed emphasis on defense, and we've understood the value of taking care of the ball much better than I think they ever have here, and that's been critical. And then the other thing is guys are just getting a little more comfortable with each other and what we're trying to do. And probably as important as anything, and we've been still battling this all year, is just trying to come together as a team. Just coming together as a team where we really all care about Clemson and what we're trying to do, and I think that's emerged as well.
Johnson was pretty limited tonight, only had 3 shots from the field.
We did a good job of limiting his touches. I thought our post guys kept it out of there some. The game gets going a little bit one way sometimes, and you can forget about post players. You know, Duran Scott was making plays, Malcolm Grant got a lot of shots off, and sometimes that can happen, and you can forget about a big guy. We can do the same thing with Zaay at times, and so that probably was part of it as well, because they were making some shots. But I do credit our guys for some good defense tonight, and I thought we made it difficult for him to get comfortable.
You're talking about how they've improved during the season, and that's something you talked to your players about before the season ever started. Is it, you know, what you anticipated? Is it more? Is it,
It's about what I thought would be. I hoped that we would have played better against South Carolina, against Florida State, against Michigan. We didn't. And maybe at that time there were times when, you know, I even said we're not good enough. Like, at the end of the day, we're not good enough. We don't believe in exactly what we're doing. We don't have faith in each other. We don't trust each other. We don't trust what we're trying to do enough to win those kind of games. That is growth in a different way. That's a building team growth. That's a big part of coaching too, is building togetherness, building a team, building the right attitudes. And we've done a lot of growth in that area over the last month. But at the time, we just weren't quite good enough. And so over the last month, that's where we've made a bunch of progress. I told our guys, I said it to them before, I said it to them Friday night when we met. I said, I told you guys this at the beginning of the year, that we have as much chance to improve as any team in the ACC this year because we're a new team, new coach, new style. If you'll just believe in what we're trying to do and keep working, and some of you guys are in new roles, if you keep working to get better and improve, you'll get better individually, collectively we'll get better at understanding our systems. And so we have a big chance to improve as a team through the course of the season, more than some teams. And if we can do that, we'll be a factor. But it's a long, tough journey. And one win doesn't mean by any stretch of the imagination that we're even near where we need to be. But it's progress. And so we feel good about that. And we've shown that our team stats have improved dramatically over the last month, from field goal percentage to field goal percentage defense, points per game, what we're giving up, turnover percentages, And we showed the guys all those things to let them know you are improving. You're better than you think you are. You're a better player than you were. We're a better team than you are. It's not just coach speak. Because I tell our guys when we're not very good. I tell them when I think we're better than somebody and we should win. I tell them when we need to do something that they don't like. And I'm pretty honest as a coach, and they know that.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.